Aside from making a push to decriminalize up to 4 ounces of cannabis, they gave themselves some new tools to keep the local government in check. Proposition S, for instance, now lets residents sue the city if it violates the charter. City leaders are no longer be able to sit back and rely on governmental immunity because, when the people say we want accountability, what they're really saying is we are watching you. Let's not forget another one of these new provisions, which tells Dallas they need to beef up their police force by around 900 new officers. It's all part of an initiative by a group called Dallas Hero. They've been saying that this is an accountability for public safety. But if you ask the Dallas Police Association, they say that it sounds more like robbing Peter to pay Paul, as former Chief Eddie Garcia put it. I'll tell you one thing, those 900 new officers won't be doing, that's cracking down on Texans for low-level cannabis possession. Let's hear it for Dallas. More colorful elected officials who don't seem to quite know how to handle this. District 12 council member Carol Mendelson said that the city's approval was a powerful message. She seems to think that Dallas voters were waking up City Hall for enforcing ordinances and laws, especially around public safety. She didn't vote for these changes herself, though. It seems she thinks that it could have been written better. Maybe next time, Kara. But back to Proposition R. The big win for cannabis got a nice solid 65% approval from Dallas voters. That's no close call. Dallas residents are pretty clear that they're tired of criminalizing small-time cannabis possession. As District 1 Council member Chad West put it, for far too long, Dallas has poured police resources into enforcing laws criminalizing small amounts of marijuana. Imagine that, wasting resources to throw the book at people over a little flower. He's hopeful that the state of Texas will take a page from the playbook and stop getting in the way, but don't hold your breath, Chad. You can bet Ken Paxton's got that pen ready for another lawsuit. You've got to hand it to Dallas for taking a stand. Ground Game Texas, the group behind the cannabis measure, said that this is a decisive victory against outdated policies. And with Paxton already suing cities like Austin and Denton for similar measures and a few others, Dallas better brace itself for a fight. In the words of Katina Vollinger, Ground Game Texas's executive director, the Dallas Freedom Act is going to require a little work to defend, but they're ready to take it on. And she's got a point. Voters made themselves clear they want more common sense policies, not more criminal records for cannabis possession. And as the dust settles, one thing is certain: Dallas can't brush this off and go back to business as usual. With the state likely gearing up for a showdown, Dallas will need a healthy dose of Texas-sized grit to hold its ground. After all, old Lazy Eye Paxton may be waving his legal sword, but it seems like more and more Texans are starting to ask, why are we still fighting this battle? I'm Stone Slade reporting for the High at 9 News.
Man, this is great news for Dallas, man. I wonder, did J.R. Ewing endorse this initiative? Stone.
I don't think he's around anymore, but he definitely would have. I do believe so.
Fair enough.
Is that new? They brought Dallas back. Is that show still popping? The new one?
No.
They should bring it back. They should bring it back. Man. That's for sure. That was a great show back in the days.
It was a great show.
So Stone, it sounds like the state of Texas is just kind of handling this shit like the United States did, and going by county, city by city. Is that correct?
That is correct, and this is big. Dallas is believe the third largest city in the state, with 1.3 million people. It's a big deal.
Yeah. This is
reminds me of the battles we had back in the 90s with Dan Lundgren.
Yep.
And Terrence Hallinan in San Francisco, where Lundgren was dead set on upturning the apple cart of cannabis legalization. And Hallinan told him to pound sand. We ain't prosecuting. But we'll see, because Lundgren came in and prosecuted Dennis Perone. It went over like a turd in a punch bowl too.
Yep.
Because Prop 215 passed, and they were apoplectic. So let's see if we can get the same response out of these law enforcement leaders in Texas, that the people said, stop this shit like now. Let's see if they're going to listen to the people's will.
Well, yeah, and Dan Lundgren back then, Dale, right after Prop 215 passed, he had an emergency law enforcement meeting with all head chief law enforcement officers throughout the state of how to not make this law go into effect. And the answer that they came up with was because Prop 215 did not mention anything in regards with transportation. That is what they used to charge everybody with.
Well, but the courts fixed that with Pebbles Trippett.
That's true.
And they also packed up Brian Gates, the sheriff of Orange County, packed up and went back and met with McCafferty back in the White House because they were all shitting themselves. How could these hippies have passed this law?
Yep.
And and then we got Conant case where they were told a doctor can talk to a patient about what they want. We have First Amendment right, and the battles just started going back and forth. That's when Molly and I first got in the middle of this, and finally we got Bill Lockyer to come in as our Attorney General, and he just said, "Fuck all this stuff. We got bigger fish to fry." And we move forward. And I'm hoping history can repeat itself in Texas, because Texas is a big, relatively red state. And in red states, if the voters say, hey, stop this, okay, you can't blame it on the hippies now.
Yep.
It's the regular Republican voters going, stop spending money, putting people in jail for weed. Just stop it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Big win for Dallas. Any thoughts on this?
This is the purpling of Texas.
It's not purpling. Stop it. Stop the ridiculousness. It's not purpling.
This is getting traction in the cities, in the bigger cities. But as you see with elections, the big cities in Texas are blue, and it's all that outlying red area is what ends up carrying the elections. And so those guys also may not. I mean, they're not as on board with cannabis as the cities are. So.
This is a lot of Republicans that believe in freedom and liberty, and that's what this ultimately comes down to, guys.
Was this Republicans that pushed this forward, Stone?
It was not.
Yeah. So Jason, let's speak facts. Come on, bro.
Everything I say is a fact.
But Ken Paxton is a Republican, and he's the one that is suing these cities that decriminalize cannabis.
Well, he's gonna ultimately lose on that because you can't fight the will of the people.
No, you can't. Yeah.
And the trap always wins. So put that in your pipe and puff on it.
The trap is definitely winning out there in Dallas and Fort Worth and all of those areas. That is for damn sure.
Deb.
Well, on that, anything to say, Rochelle or Jenny Beth? Okay, fair enough.
I'm excited for Texas.
What's that, Rochelle?
I'm excited for Texas. They love pot, and this just proves it.
That's right.
And all those Cowboys fans need something to smoke on right now.
I do need something.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe you know what they need? They need some on suppositories so they can say hello again. And on that, we're gonna roll into a commercial and we're gonna be right back.